Morning everyone, we welcome you to the session 2 of the STPP program. We would like to introduce the speaker of today, Dr. S. Devanayan, who is the head of business and technical director in Satyanarayana Renewable Energy Coimbatore. He has more than 30 years of experience both in industry and in academics. He has also held positions as director, professor, dean, project head, and so on. His specializations include academics, research, admission, patent, funding, consultancy, solar energy, automation, electric vehicles, and lot more. To his credit, he has published 27 papers in both national and international conferences and journals. He has also filed more than 68 patents, among which 60 patents are published in Indian Patent Journal. He has developed more than 96 of innovative engineering products. He has also invented more than 79 of products. He has applied for research funds which account to more than 29, both in the state government and in the central. His research, he has received a lot of research funds which is equivalent to around 18 crores. He has also transformed many students into entrepreneurs, and he has also received an award as top 20 eminent deans in India, which is received from the Academic Council ULEKTZ. On behalf of the college management, principal, department, faculty, and students, we welcome you to the session, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, my dear staff member, for introducing me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. And we are here to discuss and share some of my views on biosensors in agriculture. I am Dr. S. Devanayan, a business head from Satyanarayana Renewable Energy. In general, I am a specialist in sustainable energy development projects, where my company at present focus on four segments. One is electric vehicle manufacturing. The other one is electric vehicle charging station, which is powered by solar energy and as well as biogas. And the third is taking the dealership and distributorship of various commercial electric vehicles. And the fourth project and fourth product on behalf of our company is solar power plant on grid and off grid for various industrial, commercial, and agricultural applications. This is our prime business sectors. Well, so today we are going to discuss on biosensors on agriculture.
Excuse
so
me.
Before, yes.
Sir, can you just put the slide on slideshow, sir?
Slideshow. It is in slideshow only.
No, sir.
Now it's okay.
It's not in slideshow, sir.
Oh, 1 minute.
Sir, instead of sharing the PPT directly, you share your screen so that it will come directly on slideshow.
Okay.
Actually, if you share
I'll stop sharing and I'll just again reshare.
Instead of sharing PPT, sir, share the screen, sir.
Entire screen.
Entire screen. Because most of the speakers are facing this problem. If they share the PPT directly, it is not coming.
Now is it okay now?
Put it on slideshow, sir. Yeah, sir, fine. Yeah.
Now it's fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are going to discuss on biosensors for agriculture applications, and hope this is the Department of Biotechnology. So absolutely now the world is traveling in a different directions. In the different directions. So slowly I will take all of you inside the subject, and before we go inside the this particular subject, I would like to tell you a few of my views to the younger generations. How do you travel with your subject, especially biotechnology? Most of the participants are biotechnologists, are related to that, are associated to that. See, now at present, the world is now focusing more on sustainable development projects. I mean, self-sustainable development projects. It means like more interdisciplinary, more multidisciplinary, and more transdisciplinary expertise are required in the future industries. So for example, in your subject, I'll tell you, in case of biotechnology, so only if you have a knowledge only on bioscience or only on biotechnology, it is very hard to survive in the future world. A biotechnology expert or a bioscience expert should have an additional or associate knowledge, so-called the interface of biosensors in various applications, like agriculture, like aquaculture, like aquaponics. There are so many technology, because people are thinking only biotechnology students only focus on biotechnology related things, like enzymes, like no, those kind of pharmaceutical industries or those kind of medical or health industries. You should come out from those industries, because other than these kind of sensors used in health care and as well as pharmaceutical, these sensors plays very important role in the other sectors. The only thing is, a person who is having only engineering knowledge, a person who is having only agricultural knowledge cannot do this kind of projects. Of course, a person who is only having biotechnology knowledge also cannot do this particular projects or products. So a person should have an interdisciplinary skill. A biotechnologist or a bioscience graduate should have an interdisciplinary skills. Then only one can travel in this, and of course the future industry is going to be like this only. So they won't it is not like in the ancient system, or it is not like in a conventional system at present only focusing on one particular subject like biotechnology. It should be something beyond. You should think about it. So I'll slowly take you what is biosensors. We are going to cover just only 1 hour and 30 minutes. We are going to only, it is possible to cover only what is biosensor, what are the elements, what are the characteristics, what are the types, a basic introduction and its applications. These things can be covered, and after that you may shoot a question in the last 10-15 minutes. So what is biosensor? It is 1962. It is introduced by Clark and Lyons. And first of all, what is sensor? Sensor is kind of transducer that transforms one particular data in another data in one form into another particular data in another form. For example, in our human body, we have sensors like our eyes, our nose, and our ears, and everywhere there are a lot of sensors are there. Like it is a biological related sensors, but the biological bioengineering, biotechnology, bioscience based sensor which is physically available in the world market. There are so many, and usually these sensors senses the record elements, record data, record requirements. This is what sensor is mainly doing. And biosensor is related to the biological substance, related to the biological elements or biological compounds that we will see one by one. It is an integrated device. It's capable of providing specific qualitative and semi-quantitative analytical information. So it trends the particular thing and it transforms through the transduction element. Absolutely, you cannot simply sense the particular required things unless otherwise it is transformed into an electrical signal. So this is what biosensor basically doing. So what is the basic components inside this sensor? Of course, it is having a sensing element. It is having a sensing element, maybe in the form of probe, or it may be form of membranes, or in the form of resistive based or capacitive based, or a kind of resonance based. There are so many kind of elements are there. Mostly bioelements, like pathogens, like enzymes, like carbohydrates. There are so many bioelements are there which can be sensed using these kind of probes, this kind of analytes. So these things can be transformed through a transducer and an electrical signal. This is what biosensor is doing. Like our eyes, what our eyes are doing. Actually, our eyes are not seeing the image, something inside our brain. Our eyes are only a component. Eyes are something like a camera, but actually the figure, whatever you see the slide now, it is seeing through your eyes and it is displayed in your brain. You understand? No? So something like that. So the electrical signal is recorded so that further data manipulation, further cloud computing, further transfer, further analysis, for all these things, it will be used. One good example I can tell you. Before that, we will discuss this and then I can give you some examples. So roles and uses of biosensors in agriculture. So far you have studied the biosensors only used in healthcare and pharmaceutical industries. But how we can use biosensor in agriculture or in aquaculture or in other terms other than related to healthcare and pharmaceutical. So it is a compact analytical device to analyze, detect, and record biological data using the electric current. So biological data, what are the biological data in the agricultural sector? No, like say you can say enzymes, like antibody, antigen. These are all the agricultural data, or even the soil pollution level, the air pollution, like soil pollution, water pollution. So all these things, these are all the data that can be detected by the biosensors. For that, respective biosensors are available in the market. It is a compact device. So biosensor created and produce either a discrete or continuous digital electronic signals, which can be handled and processed by the DSP, so-called digital signal processing. It is a combination of the concentration of the chemicals and other biological substances in agricultural feeds and food industries especially. So the major aim of biosensors in agriculture is to develop the quality of life. Quality of life in the sense, as usual, healthcare, quality of agricultural crop, disease recognition. I mean, here the disease recognition not with reference to the healthcare. This is with reference to the agriculture, because in crops is also having a lot of disease. Various diseases are coming because crop is absolutely, it is also a bio a substance which it is also having a kind of resistive power. So whatever the pesticide, whatever the manure you feed, always from there are so many possibility diseases come unless otherwise if the manure or if the pesticides are from natural resources. If you use the natural resources, pesticides, natural based other agricultural inputs, not much diseases. But when you go for a chemical, when you go for a artificial or factory made pesticides, factory made manures, that is having a lot of disadvantages, side effects. Like in allopathy medicines, in allopathy medicines, it will cure the particular disease, but it will leave some side effects. It will leave some side effects. So the same thing in agriculture also. So this can be prevented either by the ancient methodologies or a conventional method. Ancient methodology is using the natural resources, meaning using natural manure, natural pesticides. But modern is or conventional is using the factory-made pesticides or chemicals. But the modern or advanced is using biosensors in agriculture. Say, for example, one good example I can tell you. See, at present, irrigation, irrigating the complete 1 hectare of any crop. It's really challenging for the farmers. Challenging in the sense they don't have laborers, they don't have automation. They don't know when the current is, when the power is available. They don't know whether how many days once the crop to be irrigated. All these things, they have a lot of confusions, and even the knowledge, the knowledge level of the farmer is not up to the mark comparing to the farmers in the ancient days. So how biosensor will help them means, at present there is a soil moisturizing biosensor as designed and developed by some of the American companies. So this biosensor will sense the moisture of the soil, and then it will transform the particular moisture, whether the particular area, or maybe say for 100 meters in radius, whether the water is required and all, then it will give command to the drip irrigation system. That particular area will be irrigated through a drip irrigation or root irrigation based. So this is one simple example I am telling. So likewise, there are so many biosensors can be used in agricultural purpose. Say for example, say here these enzymes, DNA, RNA, antibody, antigen, are the record elements which is to be sensed by the biosensors. And this the chemical, I mean, these chemicals or biochemical or biological inputs can be sensed by the fiber optic or any other probes or any kind of sensing materials, maybe a resistive material or a capacitive material or a kind of resonant material. There are so many materials are there, so which is sensed by these materials, and this material transforms this biological input into a chemical and chemical into the electricity or electrons. And then once it is transformed into electrons, and it is amplified, and the signal is conditioned through the DSP processor. Signal is being processed after amplification. Then it is once it is processed, once it is amplified, once it is digitized, then sitting in computer, you can analyze the data, you can manipulate the data, you can calculate the data, and you can even send and receive this data wireless through the cloud computing, and whatever you want to do, you can do it. Or you can even control, you can form a closed loop control system to form a complete automation through the biosensors. So biosensors in agriculture. So here a few points I would like to emphasize. See, what do you mean by agriculture? It includes production of crops, not only production of crops. Like after producing the crops. See, one good example, what the farmers are facing at present, I'll tell you. See, in Tamil Nadu, there is a district called Tanjavur district, where more paddies are producing. So they produce paddy, and they are about to sell this paddy in a wholesale to the government or to the public through the government. So for that, these paddies are accumulated in tons, sometimes in open area, sometimes in a closed area. So here, it is not possible to say, for example, in a go down, some some millions of paddy bags are being kept, and it is not so easy to sense the moisture which is formed in these tons of bags. Like more than some millions of paddy bags are there, paddy that has been stored. So it is very hard, especially in the rainy days, especially in the cloudy days. I myself have witnessed millions of paddy bags they have lost it. So due to the wet, the paddy becomes transforms as a plant, small seedlings. So something like that. These are all the problems they face. So physically, this problem cannot be solved. So only through the biosensors, like a complete biosensor to be deployed in the godown. I mean, so for every 10 to 20 bags, like you keep one biosensor which can sense the moisture of the agricultural product, and then you can centralize this through the CAN area network, that is control area network, and you can monitor it whether the moisture is there, so that particular area paddy bags can be released immediately. So something. So whether the crop is under cultivation, whether the crop is post cultivation, pre cultivation, so whatever it is, wherever. So the biosensor plays so many important roles. So not only focusing only on research, only on doing research and publishing the papers. So not only that, we also, I mean, I request the young graduates and I request the professors to design and develop a new product using a biosensor, especially for agricultural applications, um, by studying all these things. So this is what case study, this is what uh, market study, and I like a research study or applied research. So hence, the need for early detection in agricultural feed is necessary to prevent crop diseases. Not only prevent crop diseases, as I said you, one of the illustration. So insect damages, see insects are damaging, weed infestations, water deficiency or surplus, even especially in Kaveri Delta, especially in Tamil Nadu, even in Uttar Pradesh, like in Ganges, no Delta Ganges, all the farmers, no, they face a problem of water surplus problem. So again, you can go for a complete biosensor-based automated irrigation. I mean, decentralized and as well as centralized automated irrigation system is possible. Whereas in case of US, if you go to the US and many of the uh, African countries, no, like these kind of African countries, I mean, the agriculture is taken care by the Western nations. So these kind of automation is being installed. Flood management, measuring of crop nutrition and plant populations. So all these things, no, like it is possible to monitor through the biosensors. So the agriculture industry has been for a long time dependent upon human expertise for quality control. So agriculture industry is major. It is a major source, no matter whether it is India or China or Russia or US or Cambodia, no matter. Out of the whole world, we have 270 countries across the globe, and all the nations, no matter whether it is a monarchy or a democracy or communism, no matter whatever the political system they have, everyone should have agricultural product. Otherwise, we cannot live. And of course, agriculture plays a very important role in the revenue generation of every country. In fact, country like India plays more than 45% of our revenue. Absolutely depend on agriculture industry. Absolutely not depend on IT or any biotechnology industries. For our kind information, so absolutely our country major revenue is absolutely depend on agricultural industry. So it means, see, biotechnologists or information technologists or chemical, like chemical engineers, they should contribute more on how to increase our agricultural production, how to prevent our agricultural crops from these kind of diseases through biosensors. These kind of innovations, these kind of projects, these kind of research, these kind of applied research to be done by the academic wings. Because what I usually notice in academics, they always try to take the base paper and they work on the base paper and they complete the research. Absolutely, it is not a good system in academic wing. Academics should concentrate in a different way, like the US, like Canada, like Singapore, like Germany. The academicians, the academic segments in these countries, they have a totally a different strategy. They don't have a strategy of what India is doing. They have a strategy of, they go to the field, they go to the people, they go to the society, they understand the problem, they find out the problem, they find out the solution through the technology. So that's the way to the academics to develop. So likewise, biosensors are rapid, reliable, and accurate analytical devices. So one again, I will take the same example, the agricultural, I mean, biosensor based root irrigation or automatic drip irrigation system. So one simple, data which I have analyzed in Haryana district, in Haryana state, where I was there in Gurgaon. So we used to go to the different agricultural area in Haryana state in northern part of our country. So what we have seen, say for example, 1 hectare of a farmer, which if you go for a normal canal-based irrigation, so he may require say about 5 lakhs to 7 lakhs liters of water. So whereas if you go for a simple drip irrigation system, he can consume only 50% of what he is really required in conventional irrigation system. Say for example, 5 lakhs means only 2.5 lakhs. The same farmer who's having 1 hectare is nothing but 2.5 acres. So if you go for a complete automation, a closed loop control system based on a biosensor based drip irrigation system. So in that case, we have done some kind of monitoring, some kind of analysis. So we come to know that the 1 hectare farmer is consuming only less than 1 lakh liters of water. See, at present, we are facing a serious problem on water. We are not having a sufficient water to produce more agricultural food. See, our Macintosh, our iPhone may show you a very no delicious food, but you cannot eat it unless otherwise somebody work on the field. So we should more focus on how to save the water for agricultural crops and all. No, biosensors, through biosensors, it is absolutely possible to increase the product, to save the water, and to keep the crop disease free. So therefore, biosensor can meet all the demands to accelerate the production of agricultural goods. So here, what is we already seen what is inside the biosensor. It is a kind of transducer. It amplifies and it can record, and further it can go ahead. And the role and use of biosensors in agriculture. So these are all the major roles, like biosensors in detection of crop diseases. See, in this is going to be a modern. So whatever we are going to see in this slide, all are going to be the modern, or it is existing not worldwide. Maybe some advanced countries it is existing. Biosensors reduction of crop diseases, like diseases to the crop, diseases to the animals, diseases to the human beings are common. It keep on seeing. Disease is also a living system, right? We refer that it is a disease, but it is also a living system. So these kind of diseases, how to so far some kind of methodology is there to detect, but using biosensor, the detection of crop diseases in a higher degree. There are so many what do you say? So many kind of diseases can be detected. So one of you can start working on this kind of research or this kind of projects. There are so many sensors are there for detecting the crop diseases, detection of pathogens, especially virus in plants. There are so many types of virus. Even still, our Ministry of Agriculture says still more than 40% of viruses belongs to the agricultural plants is not identified, unidentified. So as we grow, the virus is also grows. So we can detect these pathogens. For that, see, for all these things, the electrochemical or bioelectrical sensors are available in the market. The only thing is, see, the people who make and manufacture these bioelectrical sensors, they are absolutely engineers. They don't know, ABCD on biosense, on bio. They may have a kind of a consultancy with a biotechnology specialist or bioscience expert, and they can design and develop. But as application is concerned, an agricultural specialist or a biotechnology who is specialized in plant biotechnology, or a biotechnologist who is specialized in animal biotechnology, so they can come forward. They can sit with the concerned engineers, maybe even biotechnology engineers also there. So you can discuss with them, and you can jointly present a proposal to the government of India, especially not only our country, whole world. Interdisciplinary projects, like multidisciplinary projects are funded immediately, whether it is government of India or any other foreign agency. Whatever the project you propose, with two different principal investigators, they will fund immediately. 100% you will get funds. So biosensors used in agronomy and soil chemistry. See, soil testing. See, we have, especially in India, we have 100 smart cities. In 100 smart cities, there are so many bad things are there. I am sorry to use the word, because we should tell, or we should know what is it. The soil, the fertility of the soil is absolutely gone. Number one. Number two, which can be prevented. So through the biosensors, and you can design and develop a new product, and you can find out the solution. For solution is already there. Only thing is where the soil is spoiled. where the water is spoiled. Like number 2 is in smart cities, all the water content, all the groundwater went down up to 1,000 feet more than that. And the second thing is these water, the TDS, the total dissolved hard water becomes hard water. If you measure with the TDS meter, you can see 1,000. But the United Nations Health Department says the water, the drinking water, or the water that is used for agricultural purpose should not go beyond the 330 TDS level. But especially in India, even though we have a tremendous rain, we have tremendous water resources, but in spite of that, we are not able to have our groundwater. No, especially these 100 cities, like it is gone. It is absolutely gone. So see, these kind of challenging projects, research projects or innovation projects, you academic should come forward and start doing some kind of research or applied research activity. A biosensor in organophosphorus, like it's a group of chemical compounds that widely used as insecticides. So the major role of biosensors on this particular thing is, so the pesticides and herbicides in model agriculture, you can control a wide variety of insects, because see, sensing the normal conventional way and finding out, the solution is totally different. It will give you a simple solution. It won't give you the precise solution, but a sensing through a biosensor. And see, if you sense a virus or if you sense a disease of a crop, and through the biosensor, then the solution, you will be able to give the solution precisely. So possibility of eradication of the particular disease 100% is more possibility if you go through the biosensor based detections. Like weeds, disease transmitting vectors, all these things you can use biosensors. Of course, in pesticides also, insect killer and its residues reduction. So at present, there is no much product across the country, especially in India, using biosensor based agricultural products, or biosensor based agricultural applications. Products are not available at present. Maybe 1 or 2 is there, like soil monitoring, like water detection, water TDS detection. These things are there, but not much. So biosensor, it is normally to disease detection, not only disease detection in agriculture, in various sectors, especially environmental monitoring. See environmental monitoring, you just see across the globe, India is the only country having more cities that has completely polluted. Polluted in the sense, the World Pollution Board wants country like India and China and Pakistan, that these countries are, even Middle East also, few countries in Middle East, there are some top 10 countries of the whole globe. The top 10 countries, highly polluted cities are in these countries. And in these countries, the topmost polluted cities only in India only. Say, for example, more than 10 cities in India are highly polluted. Say, for example, you take Delhi, you take Lucknow, you take Agra. So these cities, the pollution level is more than 400 air quality index, AQI. And the allowed AQI for the human to live in this city is only 70 to 80. So beyond 80, it is very dangerous. So 80, where is 80, where is 450? So if you start living in this environment, of course, the next level is like Coimbatore, Bangalore and all, it is in the pipeline. It will come in 2 or 3 years. So how do you solve this problem? Like environmental monitoring. So biotechnologists, bioscience experts should come forward to design and develop a kind of outdoor, outdoor air purifier through biosensor. Like a network of biosensors, or you can say, and biosensor can be interfaced through the CAN bus control area network, so that a precise outdoor air purifier can be designed and developed, so that the environmental can be monitored and can be the pollution level can be decreased. Say, for example, you see US is the most, what do you say, the highest consuming of electricity. They have a more thermal power plant, they have more automobiles. Even though they have the population of US is 40 crore, but the population of automobiles is more than 10 times of their population. So they produce more carbon dioxide and carbon monoxides, but they, there is no city in US having more than 70 to 80 air quality index of pollution level. So why? Because they have a very complete outdoor air purification system. They have a very complete recycling system. Absolutely, they have done so many things, so many automated things through biosensors, especially for environmental, for soil quality monitoring, for even disease control on plants, and the prevention of methane, methane. See, we people are thinking that pollution is only from the automobiles, carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. We are thinking about pollutions are only from the dust, and we are thinking from pollutions are only from the carbon formation from the thermal power plants. Absolutely, not only that, also that whatever the waste that you keep inside the home, that you throw outside the home, whether it is a plastic waste, or it's a building waste, or it is a agricultural waste, or organic or non-organic, whatever the waste you throw out or inside, and that will slowly produce methane, and that methane will also spoil the environment. So that is what the governments are always telling, that always keep the garbage closed, always recycle the garbage. Throwing the garbage on the open surface is deadly dangerous. This is also one of the reason why most of the Indian cities are highly polluted. So this is very important. So absolutely, as Professor Kalam says, that India and its strength is absolutely in the hands of academicians, not in the hands of politicians, not in the hands of citizens. It is absolutely in the hands of academicians. It is absolutely in the hands of graduates. So you people are professors and graduates who think about how to design and develop an extraordinary product which can solve these kind of issues, because India is facing tremendous problems, especially on related to the water conservation, related to the groundwater problem, related to the recycling of solid waste management. So biosensors plays a very important role on all these things. Okay, next, the quality of food is fundamentally based on biochemical composition. Even in foods also, see in US, I tell you, see why always I benchmark with US and Western countries. See, you go and see the food industries in US, completely biosensor fixed, they have, it is a network of biosensors fixed in the US food industries. Maybe if time permits, my dear graduates, please watch Food Factory in the television channel, sometimes in National Geographic or Discovery Channel or History Channel. So you please watch the Food Factory. Sometimes, Marvel, engineering Marvel, they used to see this kind of highly automation through the sensors and other biosensors, especially in the chemical industries and the food industries. You can witness all these things. Different types of biosensors are there. So biosensor ranging from electrochemical, calorimetric, optical sensor, there's immunosensors are there. There are so many sensors are there available at present in the market. So I always request the graduates, whether you're a graduate in first year or second year or third year or final year, or whether you're a postgraduate or first year or second year, all the 5-year students, always try to do some projects for your level. For your level, like, don't think that in third year only we have to do project. Don't think that in final year only you should. No, you should start now itself. If you are a first year or second year, you start doing something. You purchase a small sensor. You try to see for sensing hydrogen, there are hydroperoxide biosensors are available. You purchase a small sensor, it is available for cost of 100-200 rupees. We spend too much of money for so many things. So just purchase it, and purchase a small circuit, which is you develop your knowledge. You design and develop a small product, start from the zero, start from the scratch. A specialist only can develop when he or she starts from the scratch. You please don't think that you cannot jump directly to become a specialist. It is not possible. So here, the father of biosensor, he's a father of biosensor. Professor Leland C. Clark, he has designed and developed the biosensor as a German-born, American settled scientist. So these are all the samples, like human samples in case of blood. See, you all know that blood and urine, how these kind of non-invasive detections. I'm just telling what is non-invasive detections. Like without punching the skin, without taking the blood, through the biosensors, it is possible to detect the sugar level. It is possible to detect the all the record data, body mass index, which is basically record for the doctors to examine your body. So it is possible by the biosensor, the same biosensor, it is possible to detect the in food products, in agricultural crops, everywhere. Biological elements like enzymes, antibodies, aptamers. So the transducers, electrochemical, optical, colorimetric, mass, magnetic, these are all the transducers. These are all the elements which can transform the biological input elements into an electrical signal, where this signal further is amplified and processed and can be further to be used for cloud computing or processing or whatever the experts sit and analyze this. What is biosensor in farming? So, like it is in US, in Canada and all, biosensor farming is they are so advanced. But in India, it is not even 1%. We are not introduced to biosensor farming. Maybe only in soil detection, and maybe in RO water, not drinking water only. We have started using, but we should use more biosensors in our farmers, especially in agricultural field. Nano biosensors is also there, like nano biosensors. What is that? Wide variety of pathogens, plant hormones, plant metabolites, pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, and metal ions. Like a small nano biosensors are already designed and developed by some Australian company and German company. So you just Google it, you will understand what is nano biosensors. See, this is what graduates supposed to do. What is nano biosensors? Where we can use this. So this kind of knowledge, you should try to Google it and always, increase your knowledge. So nano biosensors, it is like in the micron level. In the micron level, it will analyze the crop disease. It will analyze what should be given to the crop so that more yield will takes place. So all these kind of applications takes place in nano biosensors. So principles of biosensors we have already seen. What it exactly does, it is a kind of transducer which transforms one form of element to other form. Say for example, see, I have seen in some of the agricultural research institutes in northern part of our country. So they used to do some kind of research, like they take some electrodes, electrode components. It is using electrode component. It is you can say it is an indirect biosensor, but using electrode component, sensing the pathogens, sensing the other bioelements of the plant, it is a conventional way. But there are, replacing the electrode components, there are so many biosensors are available, which is available in the market, where to be identified. It can be only done by the biotechnology or bioscience experts, not by the expert like me or like somebody in engineering field. The basic characteristics, it's linearity. That is linearity in the sense like how much sense it's the recorded data, the sensing magnitude, and the linearity. The sensitivity is the value of electrode, like how far the sensitivity of the particular electrode or particular probe or particular sensing head, sensing head is being used. That what is the sensitivity level and the selectivity. So what kind of you should not select all the parameters. So sometimes, suppose if you design and develop a sensor, or if you use the sensor, if you have a control system for the particular sensor, so the sensor should be designed and developed, or the sensor and its associated circuits to be designed and developed in such a way that it should select the required exact data. It should not select unwanted data. So that is what selectivity. And response time is like in few seconds, no, like it should sense. It should not take more time. So in such a way, the complete compound or the components or the electric circuits to be designed. So these are all the types of biosensors. Like we have a bioluminescent sensor, electrochemical sensor, optoelectric devices biosensor, piezoelectric biosensor, thermistor based biosensor. See, this bioluminescent means it is a kind of light energy based, like it is a light energy based, like light sensors. Electrochemical is something like electrode, no, like almost like a thermocouples. Thermistor is different from thermocouple, but however both are same family, but application is different. And optoelectronic devices means like fiber optic, no, like fiber optic devices. Like our broadband connections nowadays are coming with fiber optic. There is no copper wire in that. So these kind of optoelectric devices based sensor plays very important role in, especially like in agriculture. Piezoelectric, it is also another piezoelectric technology, where the vibration or the pressure or the potential or the force transferred into electric energy. So this can be used. And thermistor, it is detecting the temperatures. It is detecting the warmth of the soil. This kind of these things. So for everything, there is a subdivisions for all these things. In case of electrochemical, it is potentiometric type is there. In case of optoelectric, fiber optic is there. In case of piezoelectric, surface acoustic wave is there. So likewise, there are so many biosensors are there. Example of biosensor, one example that normally the pregnancy test detects the HCG protein. So it is, they use the biosensor. It is a basic biosensor. So this is what non-invasive healthcare gadgets, electronic gadgets, or normal non-electronic gadgets, where absolutely based on the biosensors. So glucose monitoring device is also there for diabetes patients. So without without any blood test or without anything, like it is possible to. So that's why biosensor plays a very major role. Of course, here we are discussing only agriculture, but it is biosensor plays a very major role in healthcare also. So here I would like to tell one good project for the especially for the professors and the research scholars and the PG and graduates, where Government of India is ready to pay the fund for this particular project up to minimum 5 crore to maximum 50 crore. The project, the project proposal, you have to propose in such a way that is design and development of detection of anemia of your body, and vitamin B12 deficiency. A non-invasive device using biosensor. Okay, I repeat, using biosensor. You should design and develop a non-invasive instrument or meter or any kind of biological instrument. It should be non-invasive. You should not punch the human skin. Just clip it, or maybe in the finger, put it in the finger. The particular device should detect the anemic level, detect the vitamin D deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency. Then it should transfer the data to the digital system. So for this, to design and develop using biosensor, Government of India, especially Department of Science and Technology and Healthcare, Ministry of Healthcare, ready to give you, especially for the academics, only academicians only can do this. Academicians only can receive these funds. They give up to minimum 5 crore to 50 crore, because there is no such device available at present in the market. I'm talking about indigenous. Maybe it is available imported. Maybe it is available in Germany or US. But Government of India wants to develop through their biotechnology experts of their country. They want to do it. So, and the condition is it should have two principal investigator. One principal investigator from the healthcare sector, The other principal investigator must be from the interdisciplinary sector like biotechnology or biotechnology specialist or bioengineering related area. So this is for your kind information. Okay. Applications we have seen. Electrochemical biosensors we already seen, like based on monitoring electroactive species that are either produced or consumed by the action of the biological components like enzymes and cells. So especially used for agriculture again is this. So this is a calorimetric biosensor, and again it is used for agricultural purpose, especially for biological reaction of the plant can be monitored. And optical biosensors, illumination after light emission. So through light emissions, the recorded data can be detected, where more precise is of their comparing to other sensors, other biosensors. Next is acoustic biosensors. This is a kind of piezoelectric base. So this is also a kind of biosensor which can detect especially antibodies of the plants or any other crops, no, something where we can use acoustic biosensors. Environmental, okay. Environmental we have discussed in what way we can use biosensor. Then application of biosensor in agriculture, the most important, see, fruit quality monitoring. See, especially in India, see, India is a country where we produce more fruits. Of course, we also have an international business. We supply and deliver our fruits from trees and fruits from plants, across the globe. So still we are not having a kind of advanced cold storage system in our country, because fruits and all, it will decompose that easily. So biosensor plays a very important role. Biosensor based, one can design and develop biosensor based cold storage for fruits and vegetables. So where at present there is no such technology is available in our country. So necessity of fruit quality control. See, agri-food supply chains, like especially, see, in India, there is no much company, what I have seen with the Haldirams. Haldirams is one of the major food supply chain company. And there are only few companies, like Haldirams is there, like in South India, we have A2B is there. They have, it means that they have thousands of outlets. Likewise, for fruits and vegetable supply chains, like we don't have much. We should have. So this biosensor plays very important role when we have all these things. See, why in US and Canada and all, they have a food supply chains in fruits and vegetables, meat, milk, many food related, agri related. They have. It is possible because of completely automated. It is completely automated. So that is why it is possible. Here we have to do it. We have to still grow. So see this here, capacitive soil moisture sensor. See, this is the kind of sensor we normally, I used to suggest a few of the graduates who was doing mechatronics and biotechnologist. I used to tell them to do some projects. You see, this sensor costs only 100 rupees. You try to buy this sensor and try to do some kind of homework and do some small research in the soil, how the relay is being actuated through the sensor. It is a kind of biosensor, a soil moisture biosensor. It is available in Indian market, where it will, you can use it for the closed loop drip irrigation system, where it will save the water for the irrigation. So smart agricultural monitoring. See, these things and all not available at present. Only it is in the research table. But it should be, see, whatever the academicians work on the research, it should come as a product. See, for one small example, I'd like to tell you something about my research. See, I have done my research in IIT, where it's an indigenously designed and developed a solar powered commercial electric vehicle. Okay. So I have done this research in the year 2000. I started in 2013-14, and I have completed in 2017-18 with I received the award from the Vice President of India, the best PhD award. At present, see, 2018 now 21, 3 years at present, I am launching this product. You understand? No? So I am launching this product. It is already available in the market. It is see whatever I have done in my research table. Now it is I brought this particular research, like as a product into the market. You understand? No? So this is very important. So this is what academicians know. See, in India, our academicians, our professors, our students are very brainy. I say I worked in more than 7 countries after my graduate from NIT Trichy. After my BTech from NIT Trichy, I worked in various countries, more than 7, 8 countries, more than 27 citizens. What I observed, Indians, especially Indians, have a tremendous knowledge and potential and skill, especially from the academics, like the professors and students and graduates. The only thing is proper leadership is not there for you people. So that is why you don't know what to do. See, I have seen many graduates, research graduates, students, graduate students. They have done a wonderful project, wonderful research, wonderful this. But the only thing is they don't know to further. See, our Professor Abdul Kalam worried a lot on this. Professor Abdul Kalam, many times he interacted with the graduates in academics institution. Always file the patent. Whatever you do, always file the patent. So once you file the patent, it belongs to you and your country. And after that, no, like funding will automatically come. So that is what, no, like you are really having. See, uh, being born with brain, no, it is a blessing. So especially these blessings, Goddess Saraswati has given to all the Indians, especially people are in academic. So please do something like file the patent and design and develop a product and try to find out to bring the product into the market. Please don't stop inside the institution. Okay, please travel beyond the institution. Like no, like smart agricultural monitoring system, no, like using biosensor. Some student team or some research scholar can design and develop, crop analysis, fruits and vegetable health analysis, water contamination analysis, soil fertility analysis, irrigation and crop productivity and support assistance. Like all these things, like through the biosensor, you can go for a complete solutions for this. Still in India, these sectors are empty. There is a tremendous business potential is there in this particular, which will increase the what do you say, the the revenue of the farmers. So there are biosensors we have seen, cell biosensor, like drones. Even some of the drones, like I have seen one drone which is designed and developed by the Israel. So that drone is having a kind of reception and receiving unit like this, and it will keep on, like need not to go inside the land. So you just send the drone, and the drone will collect all the data through the field monitoring, and then by sitting at home, you can analyze what is going on, what kind of manure to be put, what kind of pesticide to be analyzed. Like this area is a very big empty space in India. So only biotechnologists, I mean professors and research scholars from biotechnology only can only give solutions for our farmers, especially soil monitoring sensor. See, comparing to, see, every 10 years, one information I would like to tell you, for every 10 years, especially for our Indian soil, it is losing its fertility. So it is not a good news. See, when you compare it to before 50 years, the soil, and after 50 years, the soil, the fertility is totally reduced. It means what? It means we throw a lot of unwanted waste on the surface of the earth, especially plastics and polythene sheets. Like we throw on the surface of the earth. So this will dissolve. Like it will not allow the rainwater to go to inside. It will not recycle the microorganism to dissolve into the soil. So automatically reduce the microorganism. Then it will spoil the fertility. And once it is spoiled the fertility, the yield of the crop, I mean the cultivation is less. Then food, deficiency will happen. See, in just 5 years or 6 years, India is going to be the number one in the world of high population. We will reach 1.5 billion. So we should take care of these things in emergency. See, biosensor and aquaponics is also possible. You know what is aquaponics? See, Japanese, no, they don't have a land, they don't have a soil, and of course, you see Arabian, Middle East, they have a soil, but the soils are not fertile soil. There is no microorganisms, so they have to go only for. See, India is blessed, so please feel proud that you all have taken birth in Indian subcontinent. Like I personally witnessed, I worked in many countries, like here in India, a neem tree will go just like that. But whereas in Germany or whereas in Middle East or any foreign country, to develop a neem tree, they have to spend some few $1 million. So we are all so lucky. So biosensor and aquaponics, no, aquaponics are without soil or very very less amount of soil. How to grow more agricultural products, these are all the sensors are used for this, where biotechnologists can design and develop a bio sensor based for aquaponics. You can go for international business. See, what I mean to say, plant biotechnologists, they have a tremendous business potential, tremendous opportunities, tremendous empty space to launch a product. And see, there is a stick, no, agricultural stick provides the farmer about live data feeds on various devices, no, like it is absolutely an engineering product, but having some biosensor, especially to detect the temperature, to detect the moisture, and it will send the wireless, through the wireless through the farmers' smartphones or any kind of gadgets, So for this, there is no need of SIM card. There is no need of like a subscription and all. So these kind of things are possible through biosensors. So you can design and develop these kind of products and you can distribute, like more business opportunity is there in this. So new age agriculture, this is what we should go, like using biosensor, new age agriculture to be designed and developed. Even our government of India is not having this kind of strategy. So academicians or academic research people or research scholars, they can work on this. What is new age agriculture through biosensor? So what are the possible things? What are the things is possible through this? Like a satellite farming is possible through the biosensor, agricultural biosensor. Aircraft farming, there are so many things is possible. Temperature, humidity, analysis of carbon dioxide, gases, soil moisture. So all these things are possible through the biosensors. Only thing is how to integrate this. See, once you implement a biosensor, and once you start transform the data from the biological data to the electrical data, then it can be taken to the cloud. And you can take the data anywhere and analyze the things anywhere, and you can give solutions to anywhere, to anyone at any time. So this is what new age agriculture, especially plant biotechnologists can focus more on this, where using biosensor, you can start working on this. So again, one more good news is these biosensors plays a major role in production of hydrogen peroxide. Like where to identify, because see, still at before that, I would like to tell you about what is fuel cell. Fuel cell is a technology which will accept the oxygen from the air and hydrogen or methane gas from the canister or from the source, and will merge, both are merged, and it will produce electricity. There is no wear and tear, there is no sound, there is no noise. It's already, this product is available. And here, what is the role of biosensor with fuel cell is, so at present, fuel cell, to operate the fuel cell cost effectively, more hydrogen to be produced. At present, hydrogen production is very expensive because hydrogen is identified only very limited sources, like from water or from the sea water, or LPG or methane is available from the biogas or biomass. But still, hydrogens are available, hydrogen peroxide are available in various elements across the earth. So where, how to identify, how to sense, how to detect, biosensor will plays a very important role. So once it is being detected, then hydrogen economy will grow high. So these things and all you can work on it. So somebody who can work on electrochemical and who is biochemical can work on this particular project. Okay, so that's all about my session. So finally, I just conclude. Biosensors for agriculture is really a very wonderful research area. It's very wonderful applied research, very good for designing and development, even a small products by graduates and postgraduates. Huge scope, huge potential is there. Of course, we don't have more companies on this at present, but you have to produce, you have to, or maybe you can go to abroad and work for some time and come back to India and do some kind of entrepreneurial activities. Because as per the AICT, we produce more than 18 lakhs of graduate engineers and 20 lakhs of non-graduate engineers. I mean, non-graduate, non-engineering graduates. So more than 90% are always trying to go for a job on multinational company. Only 10% is think about entrepreneurship. So as a country like India, having a population of heading 1.5 billion, to eradicate unemployment, we should also equally produce more, more industries, more business zones, more entrepreneurs, more industries. Like then only we'll be able to accommodate our graduates in our companies. We keep on producing employees, it is not advisable. Rather, academic institutions should take a prime responsibility to transform your students not only as employees, also as an employers or entrepreneurs, young startup entrepreneurs. So especially in the field of biotechnology, especially plant biotechnology, biosensors for agriculture, it is the product in agriculture, it is easily promotable, easily marketable. Huge business potential is there because agriculture is a major source of our country. The major revenue is in agriculture. Understand? No? So you can start working on this from today onwards. So thank you so much for listening my lecture. So if any questions, please feel free to contact me, or right now you can ask a question. And I am a specialist to file patent for all of your innovations. You can also contact me with normal government charges only. Now you don't have to pay extra anything to me. It is only government charges. So if you are really interested, your projects, your innovations, your research, it is equivalently like when you publish a patent on account of your research innovation or any kind of novelty, if it is published in the Indian Patent Journal, it is as equal as publishing in a quality journals, because NBA and NAC is considering both are same. They give same credits for both. So you can very well, because in fact, publishing in Indian Patent Journal is very easy than the publishing in the journal, peer review journal. But only thing is you should have a very real innovation. You cannot do any cut and paste here. It should be a real innovation. It should be a real product. And again, once you file the patent, it should be evaluated by the patent examiners whether it is available or not, and then they should give a green signal to go for the next levels. Then only your idea, your innovation will be published in the Indian Patent Journal. It is a real work. There is no cut and paste work available in patent these things. So this is with this information I just conclude. In addition to that, if you really want to design and develop any product, any innovations, you can always contact my desk. I'm a specialist in product design and development. So you can always, professors or students, contact me at any time. And I thank the Oxford institution, the other coordinators and other people behind the screen. I thank from all my heart. Please go ahead. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words and encouraging statements. Yes. Dear participants, you can make use of Dr. Devanian sir. In case if you have any innovations to be patented, you can contact him for further clarification. And in the meantime, you can approach him for any innovative projects. So from my end, can you suggest some domain where our faculty can take up work on biosensors, especially for agriculture implements?
Yes, sir. Sir, at present, no, sir, like this biosensor, especially for irrigation purpose. Hello?
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, at present, what happened? Water scarcity is always there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So at present, what happened? Water scarcity, especially in South India. Northern India, there is no water scarcity. In Southern India, water scarcity is there. Especially that is a one major problem where our farmers are facing. So here, why they are facing? Most of the farmers know they have a canal irrigation and as well as drip irrigation. So, but if you interface the biosensor in drip irrigation, so still it is possible to reduce the consumption of water. So that project, no, one can take and one can prove it. Well, first of all, you have to prove it. So for that, you should take one particular area of land. Maybe even if it is a small in size, no, you take one area. First, you go for a conventional irrigation. You take some plant, how much water it consumes. Then you go for a drip irrigation. Then you go for root irrigation. Then you go for a biosensor based automation irrigation. So then you analyze. Like you do some kind of research activity, like 2 or 3 years or 4 years you take, like this, like then come to a conclusion of this particular product, reducing the consumption of water. This particular product will increase the yield, something like that, which you can do. That is more, for this particular project, no, more business potential is there, because a complete automation, and of course automation without cell phones. You understand? This is using biosensor. It is possible to do an automation of irrigation without cell phone. Already now automation of irrigation is there with cell phone, but that is not working properly. That is having some failure. But using with biosensor, no, if you do it, that will be great. That is one area. The second area where they can focus is like like these crops, no, like sometimes the crops, not crops, the agriculture products or like vegetables, fruits like paddy, rice, no, they kept it in a big storage unit. Sometimes open storage, sometimes closed storage, sometimes a cold storage. Like in these storages, there is no sensors at all. Still, we are using the olden system of storing. So these storage centers, like one team can start working on what kind of biosensors is required for this kind of agricultural products of storage area. So that particular that can give alarm, or that can give the control in case of cold storage, that can increase the cold, or that can give a notification to the people who, because it is not possible to inspect 1 million paddy bags in the godown, something like that. No, these are all the things which is required. At present, there is no product like this. So likewise, no, I can tell you so many things, but at present I am suggesting these two things, where government of India itself, they are ready to give funds for this. See, there in Department of Science and Technology, there are some counters open for all the time. You need not to wait for the proposal, call for a proposal. There are some counters always open all the time. And there are some ministry, especially for Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Forest, there are some counters always open. So you can apply, you can propose your idea. And especially one more idea where I can tell, like in again agriculture, one we talk about this thing, the same water, like the contaminated, the water is contaminated, especially in the residential area, in smart city, the water is contaminated. More than 1,000 TDS is gone. Every house is having RO. So transforming that water into RO, no, it is drinking that water is not advisable. It is not at all good for health. So replace RO with something else through biosensor. So you can design and develop a product. Only thing is we have to work on. Sometimes we land failure or we land success, but no problem. Whether even if we land failure, that is good only, so that you can go for the next success. Because real failure is not a failure. Real failure is doing nothing is a real failure. Okay. Anything else? Hello.
Dear participants, you can unmute yourself and you can pose the question, or you can put it in the chat box. Sir will be available with us for another 10 minutes. So if you have any queries, including students, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can pose the question. I think there is no more questions. Probably you have answered all their queries that they have.
Okay.
On behalf of organizing committee and on behalf of management and the Oxford College of Engineering and myself, it was a wonderful session, and really, as you said, it is the right time for all biotechnologists to join hand with the allied departments like electronics and communication and computer science engineering and mechatronics, so that our innovation will reach the needy farmers, so that India will become automated in agriculture, so that we become the top in agriculture. Thank you once again, sir. And dear participants, you can make use of Devanian sir, because he is kind enough to extend his all supports in deciding your project and also in filing your innovations. Please make use of this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. We'll be in touch with you for our phase 4 STTP also. And we may require your kind suggestion and mentoring for our students project as well. So we'll be in touch with you.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. It is my prime duty, sir, to transform our students as a great entrepreneur of our country.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you one and all behind the task. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, with the kind consent of the convener, we are winding off with the session 2 of day 2. So please do join us back for the session 3 at 2 o'clock with the same link provided. Thank you one and all.